What's up guys, and welcome back to the next episode of this Volkswagen Transporter T4 campervan conversion. So in today's video I'm going to be fitting in a shower into the rear tailgate of the van. As you can see, I've got the rear panel off from the van at the moment, and I'm going to be fitting a nice square shower head into the back of this tailgate, and then when it's back up I'm going to be running a equivalent of a basic shower curtain all the way around the tailgate. So if you're out and about in the wild and you need a quick shower, it's going to be an option there at least. If you're looking for any of the bits that I'm going to be fitting in this little shower video, check the description beneath the video and there'll be links going out to eBay where I've bought pretty much all the items that I'm going to be using, ranging from the shower head to the John Guest fittings to the submersible pump, things like that. It's all going to be linked below. So to get the shower itself mounted in, I'm just going to be securing it to this panel itself, not where it is at the moment. This is just as a demonstration of where it's going to be laid. It's going to be a little bit further up, probably around about that area, something like that. It's going to get secured on the underside with some John Guest BSP converters as well. That's then going to be running off. I'm going to have some pipe running along the side of the tailgate that will run down the side of this unit for the cabinet as well. And then round about this area, this is just going to be a quick area to put a water tank with a submersible pump that will go inside it, fill it up with a bit of hot water, or just have a cold water shower as well. And it just opens that option of at least having a shower if you're out in the wilderness as well. So let's get cracked on. Let's get the panel mounted back up with the shower head mounted into the panel itself. We'll get all of the pipe work ran. We'll get the submersible pump connected up to the electrics as well. And at the end of this video we should have a fully functional, fully working shower head mounted to the tailgate of this T4. So let's get cracked on and see what it looks like at the end of the video. Right, so now I've got the main pipeline going from the shower across. I've cut a little hole just in the top of the tailgate there. That's where the pipe comes through. A couple of pipe clips just to make sure that it's going to be secured in place. And it's going to be running down to where the water tank's going to be sitting here. And that's the pump that'll just pop inside the tank itself. Now to be able to control the actual water flow itself, I'm going to be fitting in just a little check valve like this. This is just a stop check valve that will just be fitted round about there. And that will basically act the equivalent of a tap where it controls the flow volume that will allow water through the valve itself. You can have it fully closed, that will stop the flow completely, just crack it open a little bit, that'll let it dribble through, or you can have it fully open as you can see, and that will allow full pressure flow through the actual pipe work as well. Now because the pump is a 10 litre a minute pump, and the tank that I'm going to be fitting is roughly around about a 10 litre tank, if it was on full flow, it would probably only last a minute or so. But obviously we can reduce that down. We can have it maybe only flowing around about a quarter flow, and that would obviously extend the length of time that you can have a shower for. So we're going to get this in place, and to get this in place I'm going to be again always using the inserts for the John Guest pipework as well. It's not fully required on colder water. These are more required for the hot water, because hot water can flex these pipes a little bit. But best practice, I've just been using the pipe inserts for pretty much any junction or join that's going to be going into any of the John Guest pipework. It's just a habit I've got into, gone on the previous conversions where I've used all the John Guest stuff as well. So I'm just going to be cutting this pipework just round about here, and this is where I'll put the check valve. Then we'll get this pipework cut down, get it adapted onto the pipe that fits onto the pump. Then we'll get the pump in the tank and we'll give it a fire up. And then once I know that the shower isn't leaking around any of the connections, any of these connections here, that's when I'll make sure that the shower is fully secured in place and it can't move anywhere. Obviously I just don't want to stick it in place first and then realise that there might be a little leak from one of the connections. So after it's all been tested at least once, that's when I'll get the shower head into its final resting position as well. But first things first, let's get the rest of the pipework fully connected up and ready to give it a test. And so to power the pump itself, I've ran a 12-volt cable from the fuse box that's underneath the bed there. Got the cable running behind this cabinet, underneath the flooring along here, tucks behind, goes into this cabinet here, and I've got a little on-off switch here so the pump can be turned on and off as and when needed. Obviously the pump doesn't want to be running 24/7 because it'll just wear the pump out and blow it up. So it just needs to be turned on when it's submersed in water and when it's ready to be used itself. And just turn it on and you can hear the pump here. So just turn it on, you can hear that it's just kicking the pump in straight away and it's ready to use. So now the pump itself is fully wired into the fuse board, protected by the fuse as well, and I've got the pump connected to all of the water piping as well. So I've got a bit of clear pipe going up to the John Guest. The John Guest runs all the way along into the shut-off valve, which then goes all the way down into the shower itself. I'll just put a bit of water into this tub. This is the tub I was thinking of using. It's just one of the spare diesel heater tubs that I never used from a previous conversion. So it's a brand new tub. It's been left outside, so it needs a bit of a clean and a wipe down, but inside it's brand new, it's never been used. So I'm going to be just putting the pump into the tank itself. As you can see, I've just filled it with half water there, just to give this a test, because I do want to make sure that the connections going from the BSP to the John Guest fittings are fully secure and they're not going to be leaking. There is some PFTE tape around them, but again I just want to actually test them before I get this shower head fully sealed in place. So we'll get the pump into the tank, we'll turn it on, we'll open up the valve and we'll check the flow, make sure there's no leaks. If there's no leaks, then we'll get the shower head in its final place and that'll be it. So let's get some testing fired up and see how it all works. Right, so after that first test I did see just a couple of small little drips coming out between the converter from the BSP standard showerhead fitting to the John Guest converter fitting as well. I obviously hadn't put quite enough of the PFTE tape inside it, so I've taken it off. I've doubled up the amount of tape that's wrapped around the converter. I've also put a little bit of True Blue pipe sealant in there as well. So now I've filled up the water tank here. As you can see, it's just beneath the full level of the 10 litres. So if we put the pump in, feed that down to the bottom. As you can see, that's pretty much down to the bottom there, that little orange pump. And we turn the tap on. I don't want the floor full, so we'll turn the floor down a little bit. Turn the tap on. Increase the flow a little bit. There we go. And there's a nice flow coming through the shower head. And now we also have 0 leaks coming through from the connection between the BSP and the John Guest converter as well. As you can see, the flow is fully adjustable just by turning this little pipe. That's full flow, and then if I reduce it slightly, you can see the water's just slowing down a bit, and obviously that will increase the length of time that you can have inside the shower just by reducing the flow, and that means that the water inside the tank's going to last that little bit longer as well. It's no different than adjusting the flow on the micro switch tap, depending on how open you have a tap. Obviously it depends on how much flow comes through it as well. But as you can see, there's no leaks, there's no water coming off for any of the joins there at all, so that means that the shower head can get fully fixed in place. And if I just increase the flow again, you see the water just comes through a lot quicker, a lot more solid as well. And reduce the flow down again. As you can see, this shower, it's not going to be something that you can shower in for 10-20 minutes at a time, but it's going to give you somewhere where you can at least have a quick wash, a quick rub down and a wash in the shower, and it's still going to last you a couple of minutes at least with a 10 litre tub. So now I'm quite happy that this isn't leaking at all. I can now get the shower head in its final fixed place, and I might put a little bit of aluminium runoff just down beneath the shower head as well, so when the tailgate is shut, any water running down will just run across the aluminium instead. So just shut the pump off. As you can see, that was nearly 2 minutes and it's only half gone there, so you can probably get nearly 5 minutes out of the 10 litre tank as well, which isn't too bad. So now the pump's off, I'm just going to let all this water finish dribbling off, and then as I say, we'll get the shower head in its final fix in place and give it one final fire up and a test as well. but it's looking nice and neat, and I'm happy with how it's coming out so far. So let's get it in its final place and give it a final fire. Right, and I managed to get the shower in its final place now. As you can see, I've got a bit of galvanised steel beneath it as well, so if there was any runoff coming down the shower when the tailgate was shut, if there was a little bit of water still in the pipework, it's not going to soak into the carpet or anything like that. It's just going to run straight off the shower, off the guard itself, which goes off the tailgate, and then it would just run out the tailgate itself. But in theory, you shouldn't really have any water running out of it anyway. Just give it a quick jiggle with the handle once the shower's done, and that'll get any water out. Any other water that's going to be left inside the pipe will also trickle and drain back down into the tub as well. And you can always just run the pump for a little bit extra, just to make sure there's no water left in the pipeline as well. So with that fully in place now, and with all of the pipework all nicely tacked back in as well, we'll just give it one more fire up just to show it all working. And I've still left this final corner off because I did want to be able to peer in, just to make sure that again there were no leaks after I'd managed to get everything back into place as well. So just turn the pump on with that little switch there. You'll hear the pump kick in. As it's still half a tank's worth of water there as well, so even half a tank going off the test before probably lasts a couple of minutes as well. So we'll give this a fire up, we'll let the tank run down fully, make sure there's no leaks coming through from the connections underneath the pipe, and if not, then that'll be job's a good one. So let's get it fired up. Now we have lots of plentiful running water coming straight down. And again, we can just adjust the flow by adjusting the lever on that, and you can see that the water flow does reduce as you alter the valve itself, and that again will just extend the amount of time you can have a shower for, because it's going to be draining water a lot quicker if it's already on half a flow compared to full flow. But if I put it on the full flow, you can see that increases the flow as well. And if you have a little pee around here, that's all nice and dry to the touch, so there's no leaks coming from any of the connections or joins. So that means I can get this final bit of tailgate screwed in place. But as you can see, this is a fully functional shower, fully fitted into the tailgate. And then once it's shut off, obviously you just want to let the water trickle out for a while. And you can also shut the valve off to make sure that any water that's still in this pipework can't really go anywhere as well. As I say, just give the tailgate a bit of a shake, and that'll let any water that was in the pipework just run down and fall out the shower. Right, and to finish off the shower install, and to just add a little bit of privacy as well, I've been out and bought 2 shower curtains, and I've sewn them straight down together, down a seam straight down, to basically extend it into a really big wide shower curtain. I've then attached it onto the tailgate rear panel, just with some of your mesh net curtain rail that's ran all the way around, just with some hooks that's easy enough to hook in and out, so you can take the full shower curtain off if you want to give it a full dry off as well. But adding that in place gives you full privacy underneath the shower, and you can close it up either side. And with the use of a couple of magnets, you can just magnet the shower curtain together, and that gives you full privacy inside the shower unit when the shower's running as well. So it means you can have a nice refreshing shower when you're away, out and about, in full privacy, and any of the shower water is just going to run straight off onto the floor and away. And when you're done, as I say, this just unclips from all of the little hooks that are going all the way around it. Then you can just shake off the shower curtain itself, just to make sure there's no standing water or anything like that. And then you're back to your standard tailgate as well. Now I have actually been away with the van since the shower's been fully made as well, and I'll put a couple of pictures up of me in the Scottish Highlands with the shower in use as well. And I can confirm that the water tub is certainly big enough for 2 showers, and just by boiling half a kettle's worth of hot water and adding it to the water tub transforms it from a really cold, quite shockingly refreshing shower to a nice warm, proper, almost at home type shower. I say just half a kettle's worth added into the 10 litres of water, and it turns it from cold water to really nice, warm, refreshing water as well. But that's how I fitted a shower in the rear tailgate of this VW T4, wired up onto a pump and switch so it can be turned on and off as and when needed, and it's easy enough just to refresh and refill the water as well. So I hope you found the video useful. If you're looking for any of the things that I've fitted in the video, whether it's the shower head or the pump, the taps, the container, anything like that, I'll try and put links in the video description beneath the video. If you did like the video and you like how I've actually fitted this full shower unit into the tailgate, consider leaving a good old thumbs up on the video, and if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button as well. There will be more videos coming to the channel as and when we get more projects to start working on with, but this was the last project that I've been working on, and I'd say it's been a while since my last upload, so I figured I'd at least get this project fully wrapped up and finished off, and one of those was just a quick roundup of the shower. So as I say, hope you found the video useful. Consider giving it a good old thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you on some future videos and future projects that the channel will have to offer. Thanks for watching. Cheers.